Yep, where you go.
Well, thank you for staying here with us on Power to FM. A very special nighttime greetings to you. Special thanks as always to Maggie. Also, a very special thanks as always to Richard Norrie and my brother,
Skippy.
Forward the afternoon into Power to FM, Power to FM. Well, taking the time, it's now 7 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we do welcome you to Sexplosion on Power to FM. With the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. And a very special good evening to my family.
Pleasant good evening to you. A pleasant good evening to the listeners and viewers out there. Those of you on social media also. So we are here to talk about sex on Sexplosion, a bridge version. Today is a bridge version. 1 hour of sex education and sexology tonight. 3 hours tomorrow night, starting from 9. So I have to say a special good evening to Geeta Singh, Dev, Shaira over in Toronto, Geeta Babulal, Amita Maharaj, I think that's my cousin, if I'm not mistaken, Dev Bihari, Aisha, Leandra Singh, Duri Ramtahal, Shari Samuel, Duki Punit, and Bianca Ramu. So we are building our audience already. But tonight, what do we have to do? We have to just give a little synopsis of things and how it's going. I know for those of you who like to visit the clinic to get your diagnosis and treatment for your erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, polycystic ovarian syndrome, polycystic ovaries, women who have difficulties enjoying sex, having an orgasm, all these things we do at the Adult Therapy Center. We do that at the clinic, and now, we have the Adult Therapy Center in Princestown and Debe on a Tuesday. I'm there on a Tuesday, and from 10 in the morning onwards. And for those of you who want to visit St. Augustine for the very same thing. And the reason for this, and people would ask the question, well, why do we need something like this? But you'll be amazed of the amount of individuals that have out there. And I'll give you a percentage. Throughout the world, with studies that have been done, 10% of the male audience, throughout the world, adult male audience, of that 10 persons, 70% of that 10, every 10 that you take, have either had some sort of sexual dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, or anxiety related to sex. Imagine that, 10% of the male, 70% of the male population out there. And this does not, a lot of times, like today, someone was asking me this at the clinic, is it because of my age I'm having problems now? And the short answer to that is yes. The aging process will bring about some sort of sexual dysfunction or erectile dysfunction, but it is not only about age. It is about you. It is about your lifestyle. It is about what you do, how you do it, what you take time to do. The investment you put in yourself, Lots of time we don't invest in ourselves, meaning we don't take care of ourselves. Where is that coming? That phone here. She wants to join us on the program.
For a minute there was bitten.
Yeah, I saw the light blinking. We don't invest in ourselves, be it for normal health. Sometimes you ask a person, when last you did a medical? They will see them thinking, well, it was about a year ago, 2 years ago. These are calls that are coming in?
No, that's
okay.
not the thing to do.
Well, just leave it off.
This is the mystery.
Are we talking about the ghost in the machine? Yeah. So when you ask someone about when last they have done something for their health, more than likely they'll be thinking about when last I actually did something for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, this is not being selfish, you know. This is being aware of the things that you need to do for you in order for you to have a better life, better quality of life.
Yes.
Most women go through life, and I mean this across the board. Most women go through life taking care of their husband, taking care of their children, taking care of their home, planning the next meal, planning what they're going to do weekend, how they're going to take the children to the beach, all these things, but they don't plan for themselves. That is, sometimes they say that's the joy of motherhood, but that is also the curse of motherhood. A mother will put aside things that they need for themselves, physical things, even their health, to make sure their child is happy. I'm not saying fathers don't do that. Fathers do that in a different way. But because a mother interacts with the child on a day-to-day basis, they sacrifice a lot for the child, the home, the husband. All these things they take into consideration first and foremost. So when we come back from the break, we'll discuss that. And I will try to instill in the individuals what they can do to make their lives better.
Beautiful. Anyway, folks, taking your time, it's now 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj our Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. But just to remind you, at home, at work, and in your community, think twice, think clean, and go green. Leave a coffee mug on your desk or walk with your own when getting coffee at the outlet. And at cleanup, use a dishcloth that you can throw in the wash instead of disposable plastic sponges. So before you use things once without thought, reuse. Think twice for Cleanup Trinidad and Tobago. Powered by Swim Call, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited, Power 102 and Boom 94. In association with Salary Enterprises, Price Club Supermarket, Trinidad and Tobago Credit Union, Bush Mountain TT, and the Gillett Group of Companies. So folks, remember, at home, at work, and in your community, think twice, think clean, and go green.
What phone was ringing?
That was the calling about the
Oh, that is the link that they call in there on.
I don't know what they're doing.
I thought you take it off the hook.
Oh shit.
Answer it. Answer it. No, it wasn't coming from there just now.
Hi, hello.
No, you have to press the connect, the middle knob that says okay. The middle on the right hand side. Right. Okay. Go up. In the circle. Okay. Press that.
Hi, hello.
Oh, press the red knob. But blinking.
The students are this one over all the time.
No, well, that is what they're calling from. Right, because they're trying to connect to the studio. That's what it is. Hang up there, and when they call you, answer. I will continue.
Continue to champion responsible actions for life, safety, and now a cleaner environment. Our planet is what we make of.
You just continue.
The choice to reduce, to reuse, to recycle, to conserve, to preserve.
Yeah, but I have a live program going on.
More mindful of how we impact the world
Raj, I couldn't.
for this generation
Raj here.
and those still to come. Join us for daily tips.
Okay, yeah, okay, what do you want me to do? Roger, what I've continued.
And in your communities, encourage your neighbors, colleagues, and family as well.
Before-
Help change the
yeah.
culture and behaviors for a greener, more
Okay, hold on,
environmentally
hold on.
conscious TNT. Think twice. Think twice. For environmental awareness. Brought to you by
Yeah.
Swimco, the Trinidad
Okay.
and Tobago Solid
Okay,
Waste
yeah.
Management Company Limited.
Okay, no problem. Just a minute, bring back.
In association with the Good
Okay.
Bush Mountain TT, Solid
Okay then,
Waste
no
Crisis,
problem.
Trinidad and
Yo,
Tobago
okay.
Police Credit Union, and
Yo,
Price Club
okay.
Supermarket. Think
Okay,
twice.
cool thing.
Think
Okay.
twice for a cleaner,
you-
greener Trinidad and
You
Tobago.
go talk, eh?
Once you send me back, I'll just drop the bed.
Well, taking our time, 15 minutes after 7 o'clock, Sexplosion on Power to FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj running now of Total Image and Adult Therapy Center. Yeah.
When we study society, behavior of people, how people interact with one another, and the things that happen in the home, because sexology and anything to do with sex starts in the home, with both parents, husband and wife, with both partners, boyfriend and girlfriend, man and woman, two men, a woman and woman. It doesn't matter what the couple is consists of, what the relationship consists of. We have to start somewhere. When we look at the sacrifice that individuals make, or the sacrifice that they do for the betterment of the family, forsaking themselves, not paying attention to the things that they need to do to make their lives better, because they are concentrating on the children. Like, for example, and I have to say this, I hope all the, best wishes to all the parents and students out there tomorrow. I mean, don't be panicking and whatnot, because the results are coming out tomorrow. It wasn't so long ago I remember my results coming out, and maybe the way things was, and I remember the celebratory atmosphere there was afterwards, with parents especially getting together and having this good time. But the children have sacrificed also. They have done their studies and whatnot, and they have done the best that they could. But you are looking for the rewards of that sacrifice. The parents are looking for that. But when you forsake what you're supposed to do for yourself, for example, a simple thing as a medical, to keep yourself in check, because if you are not there, what happens to the children? What happens to the home? What happens to your husband? What happens to your wife? Are you paying attention to those things? That's why we have the Adult Therapy Center, because many a times an individual will come and they will want us to find a shortcut to fix something that was going wrong for many years. And this is where the problem comes in. Finding a shortcut to fix something that was going wrong for many years is not something I do. Even when the person is telling me I need to have something done because I'm getting married soon, I'm going on my honeymoon, I met this wonderful person and I want to have sex with that person, I want to be able to perform, there are no shortcuts. We cannot get a shortcut for you. Because if we don't know what the root causes are for your problem, then you would have a serious issue in getting treatment. So more than likely, when we start from the bottom. You know, when you're building something, you lay the foundation. So in laying the foundation, the first thing you got to find out is what caused this individual to be at this point. You will not have all the causes, but when you check the individual based on medical history, psychological issues, relationship issues, even things of a financial nature with the environment in which the person is at, you will come to the realization of you'll get an idea of what's going wrong with this person, why this person is at this point now. Let's get back to the sacrifice part. Think about all the things the ladies or the women who are out there taking care of their home, their husband, their children, and other things, and not seeing about themselves. There are women out there who will forsake a meal to make sure that their children eat. There are women out there who will forsake seeing about themselves, spending money by the doctor to make sure their children are okay, or their husbands. And this is not something, by the way, this is not a guess thing. This is what happens in reality. Most women who are true homemakers And I'm talking about true homemakers. I'm not talking about those who just want to flam and pretend. Most women who are true homemakers would do anything to sacrifice to make sure the home is held together. Make sure the children don't go hungry. Make sure the husband is well taken care of and he goes to work properly, dressed properly, feeling good. We do these sacrifices. There are men out there who will go to work day in, day out, work long hours to put food on the table. And I'm not talking about those who, when they get their pay, they go to the gambling house or the whorehouse or somewhere else. I'm talking about those who diligently do what they're supposed to do and take care of the home. But they don't take care of themselves. And this, Junior, is where the challenges lie. When you have persons who don't care about themselves to simply do a medical. And I'm not talking about an expensive medical, you know. I am talking about just basic things they don't know about themselves. Many a time you ask a guy who have erectile dysfunction or something related to sex, what's the health of your prostate? And they cannot tell you. Now, they have lots of free testing done throughout the country, you know. But they are afraid to go and get the testing done, whether it be by blood or digital examination. But they don't know the health of their prostate. If you are of a certain age, you should have your prostate checked out. Once you reach into your late 30s, every man, regardless of what you do, who you are, race, color, creed, or class, you should have your prostate checked out.
That's important.
Very, very important. If you are Afro-Trinidadian, you should have it done once a year, once you cross 40. Because of the susceptibility for prostate cancer. And that has to do with the testosterone level. And that's what it is. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. In North America, they have found out the bad eating habits with the kind of greasy food that the guys eat causes that or exaggerates the problem.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you take care of yourself. Don't wait until something happens. That's why you have clinics, you know. That's why you have these places you can go and get tested. Now, if you want treatment and you come to the adult therapy center and you have to go and get a test done, it is not done immediately. You have to take a couple of days to get the results. Sometimes it takes a week. It depends on where you go. Don't you think if you have those things done prior, you'll have a history or something that you could work with?
Well, of course.
Now, my thing is sexual health. But sexual health involves mental health. It involves physical health. It involves well-being of the individual. Those are the things that I am concerned about. So it encompasses everything. Everything. The relationship you have with your spouse, your partner. That comes into focus. The type of relationship you have, how it was built. So all these are the things, the factors that we look at when we are dealing with things of the mind and sexology.
Anyway, folks, taking over time, it's now 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. You're all listening to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. After calling my game. So when we come on the break, it goes
You have to call them, eh?
Yeah, it is working. Steve Cole.
What not working?
The comrade for the God, yeah.
Think twice, think clean, go green for environmental awareness. Power 102 FM and Blue 94 FM continue to champion responsible action for life, safety, and now a cleaner environment. Our planet is what we made of it, so let's make the right choices. The choice to reduce, to reuse, to recycle, to conserve, to preserve, to responsibly dispose, and to be more mindful of how we impact the world around us for this generation and those still to come. Join us for daily tips on how you can get involved.
How long I have? I could run out outside and come back?
And in your communities, encourage your neighbors, colleagues, and family as well. Help change the culture and behavior.
You had to find that thing.
No, I didn't have plug for this.
Oh, yeah, you only have one more.
For environmental awareness, brought to you by Swimco, the Trinidad and Tobago
come back.
I know what happened to this phone. I'm not getting it yet.
Is the app off? The line of flying here too?
So the app is off.
Oh, I don't think we're on Facebook.
Think twice. Think twice for a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago.
Do you know that there exists a lawful body to represent estate police officers? Are you tired and fed up of poor working conditions, disrespect, and abuse by employees? Then join the Estate Police Association on a new program, the EEA6, Breaking Chains, Raising Barriers. Wednesdays, 10 to 10.
Oh, we had a mini call when I come back, eh?
3.1 FM. Empowering you, the station that says it all.
Well, can tell you that nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education. Right here on Power 102 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Imogen Bay Adult Therapy Center. Yeah.
The amazing thing about it, when I decided to take this up as a profession, I knew the challenges that I would face with society. I knew the challenges I'll face with family. I knew the challenges I will face with people and acceptance of something like this. And when I actually started getting into it with the studies of it, I saw the challenges it had with people who are supposed to be seeking this type of help. The amazing fact about it is that many individuals wait until something is too late to deal with it, especially their sexual health. I had someone today they tell me it's going in 2 years. They recognized they had a dysfunction, but they did not know about it.
Yeah, you all know what?
And you get the impression that the person is looking for a quick fix to get it going, but it's not going to happen. So when you have men and women in society not doing the things that they're supposed to do,
Okay?
what do you expect?
Okay, I'll call you. Okay.
So I'm asking individuals to take the initiative, take the time to get yourself checked out. Find out about your health, your sexual health now. Have a record. Keep your tests close by. Because if 70% of the world population, male population,
Yeah.
have already experienced some sort of sexual dysfunction, premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, that means only 30% of us are functioning properly. 70%, the last time I checked, the male population of Trinidad was over 800,000.
800,000. Okay.
Yeah, I think, no, 600,000, sorry, 634,000, somewhere here. That was from the CSO. Let's say 40% of that are children. So 60% would be adult male. That is what? 380,000 people.
Yeah.
Let's say 400,000. And 70% of that 400,000 is 210,000. No, 280,000. You're talking about 280,000. Let's break the figure down back now to 250,000. Men are suffering from some sort of sexual dysfunction. Now, what's the percentage for women? Women suffer in silence. So it's very difficult to get an accurate figure for women. As a matter of fact, when surveys are done for sexual health with women, you don't get accurate information because most women will keep it within themselves. They're not eager to share that information, or they don't go out to get help for that. But it's not 70%, it's less than 70%.
Okay. Yeah.
But of that percentage, whatever that percentage may be, and like I said, I don't have an accurate figure, so I'm not going to use a figure. I'm just going to assume a figure here and say, let's say it's 50% of the female population. You have 50% of the female population having some sort of sexual dysfunction, but the sexual dysfunction would be different from the male population. The male population, we have already established, it would be premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction, inability to impregnate someone. Those are the main things. Something related to prostate, or It may be relationship related where you no longer have that feeling for your partner. That's the emotional and psychological part of it. The female population will have some sort of dysfunction related to other things. Dryness of the vagina, inability to be aroused, not enjoying sex with their partner inability to take care of their needs. Now, if you ask a man a question about sex, for example, the number one question that is normally asked is, how often do you have sex? And most men answer, I would like to have sex every day.
Well, yes, that's a norm.
But that's not the question that was asked. The question was asked is, how often do you have sex? Not what you want,
no, but the average
but what you're capable of doing.
I know exactly what you're saying, but the average person.
Correct.
That is how they might.
Because it's an egotistical answer.
Right.
If you ask the woman the very same thing, you might get a similar type of response. Like, for example, how often do you have sex? They may tell you, well, I would like to have sex and enjoy it, but I don't. That may be their answer. The majority of women who have some sort of dysfunction when it comes to sex may tell you that. Because their partner is not conscious of their needs. Their partner is not doing the things that are needed for they to enjoy things fully. The foreplay is not done properly or with the woman in mind. Most men, when they are aroused, they want to get into the act as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Most women, they are not aroused sufficiently to get into the act when a man wants to get into the act. And they are afraid or ashamed to discuss it with their husband. They are fearful of discussing it sometimes because there may be retribution if you do. You might end up in a quarrel, or the man will say, what, me have an ex-man out there, some sort of things like that. There are women who wrongfully accuse men as much as men wrongfully accuse women. So there's a psychological part of it also. So there are so many different things that could be affecting the relationship and the individuals in the relationship, where you have challenges. The openness by which you want to discuss things with your partner, you may be limited because the relationship doesn't share that. You don't have that with your partner. It's not strong enough. So you have an inability to discuss these things openly. Sometimes there are individuals who will be listening to the program and the other partner would say, I don't need to listen to him, I know everything already. Or what kind of stupidness are you listening to? So immediately you put down the program simply because you don't understand what it is about. Therefore, you are not learning anything. Now, education is very important here. Information is also very important because from education and information, you make an informed, educated decision.
Oh, yeah.
You make sure that you do the right things and you will know where to go and what to do and how to approach a particular situation to get the best results out of that situation. Pleasant good evening to my nephew Leo. How are you? So, it is in your best interest. It is in your best interest to first and foremost secure your relationship, whatever relationship you may be having with your partner, and have that open discussion. Be able to make comments without insulting your partner's intelligence or their sexuality or their sexual behavior. That's another thing. Sometimes you may make a passing comment to your partner that will cause the person to think negatively about things of a sexual nature. For example, telling somebody, well, you always horny, like something wrong with you. Being always horny is not something wrong with you. It may be that you have a good libido. But you could learn to control your libido. Your libido is a sex drive. You could learn to control your libido and make it work to your advantage. Some people don't know how to control it.
I don't think the average person would know.
No. So it overtakes them. They are on